you to do is like download the Ubuntu image. So this is the path from where you can download the Ubuntu image. What I do, like I'm just pasting it here, the Ubuntu image link. So you can go and download the Ubuntu image link. And then one more thing you need to download, that is like WinSCP. So WinSCP that you can download from here. Now what for these things are there, let me tell you, but then before that I should do this thing. So WinSCP. If you want, you can download Putty as well, but then I need these three things initially. And then I'll let you know like regarding Hadoop, like what are the things you need to download in Hadoop and all. But then these are the basic things that you need to download. And then for Hadoop installation, so just a moment. So initially I'll require you to download, like you can download this one. So if suppose this is from Apache website, so you can download. So I'm just showing you that part as well. So if you suppose say download, so you'll see index, okay, and download this one. So this is the site from where you can download this. This is one stable version. So we'll be using this stable version. So I'm pasting the path of this one also. Yes. So you can see here, I need this one. I need this one.
Sir, I have one small doubt.
Oh.
Abhijit here.
Yeah. Yes, Abhijit, please go ahead.
If you download a different version of Hadoop, is it fine? Like I already downloaded 2.7.3.
You can download, but then what happens? I'm telling you, like those are not the stable version, and then what happens? Like you may face challenges also, because yes, 2.7 came, but then it is like it is not yet stable, and you know, like these are open sources, so helps are not available. Then later on, if suppose we have to install lots of other things, like Hive will be installing, HBase will be installing, so compatibility issues also come. So we'll have to like that will be a new challenge for us. Like we'll have to make sure that everything is compatible, and then we are struggling here and there. So that's why I suggest initially you should download. What I suggest you, all those things which are stable, and you can use it. And then if you suppose you have time, so you can also go and check all those things there. If suppose some compatibility issue comes, then you can fix that. But then initially, I don't want you to struggle. And as it is a remote training, so it will be difficult for me also to help you out. So that's why I want some sort of discipline here. So you should download what I suggest, and then you can later on you can definitely do that. And it's not like that I'm not there and I'll not be helping even if you download the current versions and all. But then I told you it may be disturbing our flow.
Okay,
So
another
that's why I
question,
said,
sir. What
yeah,
is the use of WinSCP for? What do we use that?
yes, good. So what will happen? So we'll be using this VMware image that will be for Ubuntu, that is Linux platform. Now I need to transfer some files from Windows to my Linux. So WinSCP, this is WinSCP. So this will help me in, like, once I connect it, so with the Linux platform. So then what happens, like this will help me in transferring the files which are from Windows to Linux. That's why we need WinSCP. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I understand. So WinSCP 5.9.4 is what I have to download, is it?
No problem. You can download that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
And once we'll be installing Hadoop, at that time we'll be installing OpenSSH also. So those things are basically taking some time. So I'll guide you how to do that. And once all those things are installed, then you can see like you are able to connect your Ubuntu with WinSCP. Otherwise, it will be difficult. So I'll guide you like how the things will work. But then initially, I want you to download these many things. Okay. Then I'll guide you like what else you need to download time to time when it is happening. But then as we'll be going for a theoretical session, lots of theoretical session will happen. And in between what I'll do, like once you have these three things, like you have the VMware player, and then you have WinSCP, and then you download Ubuntu. So all these three things once you have, then what we'll do, like in between I'll show you like how to install, and our theory session will again continue. So what will happen if suppose we are facing certain challenges in installation, so we can complete the challenges and then we can further proceed. So that's what is my intention. So that means we are not interrupting, we are not waiting, and we are not wasting our time. Correct?
Sir, I have one question. I'm Sudhakar
Yeah.
here.
Yes, Sudhakar.
Sir, I'm using Mac, so VMware Player is not available in Mac, so I can use as a virtual box.
You can use, there is no problem. Mac is creating problems. I know this thing because many a times, even in my classroom-based trainings, basically I do classroom-based trainings on Saturday, Sunday when I get time. I'm not in office. So Mac is creating problem. Lots of like compatibility issues are coming. So what I suggest that you should, if suppose whatever is working, if suppose you already have a virtual box or whichever is there, so you need to download the image accordingly. Okay. So just check. Probably in Mac, what will happen? You need not to download this VMware Ubuntu image because Mac is itself a Linux system. So what
Yes.
we can try, but then it is like what happens sometime it is not it's not basically easy to install Hadoop on Mac, and lots of other problem comes. So do you have a Mac system only, or you have some other laptop or PC available?
I have Mac only right now.
Okay. So we'll try our best so that you are installing it on Mac. And you have to follow the same steps a little bit here and there. Some commands are not working, and so definitely a little bit more effort will be required from your side. But then yes, I have seen, because I don't have idea regarding Mac. I have only seen some participants struggling on Mac. So and a few participants I have completed also. So in few cases I have seen they have smoothly done that, and in a few cases I have seen that they were struggling a lot. So Mac has this issue, but then if suppose if it is like you have only Mac, so we'll see how to tackle that situation. Maybe I wish that everything goes smoothly. There is no problem at all.
Okay.
Okay. So you need not to download this VMware image in that case. You can directly install Hadoop there. So once we'll be installing, that time we can see like how to go for it. And secondly, then you need not to go for WinSCP as well, because it's your own system, so you can directly transfer the files directly from your OS. There is no host and guest type of thing available, so it's directly there.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got that
So
clarity on Abhishek question, like when we are using for the Windows and Linux, like transferring the file, right?
right. So
Yeah.
that's why it is required. Otherwise, it is not required. So in that case, you can download this Hadoop only, and that's it for the time being, and we'll see how to help in this. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. So, that's what I wanted to share, and that's what I wanted. You people should understand these things, and you can download this once you have the time. So yes, we'll be starting our training, and initially we'll have lots of theory, and you'll have to understand the things like how the things are happening. Yes, just for expectation settings, like as you know, this is a remote training. So sometime what happens, like internet is not supporting. Sometimes some other problem comes. So we'll adjust. Like if suppose any day I'm not able to do the training, so I'll inform Sarup in advance. And if suppose there is some other problems, I'll inform, and we'll have the training. So all those topics will be covered, and it will be around 24 hours to 30 hours training, and it is like I'm not counting the hours. My thinking is like you should learn, and if suppose even couple of hours more time is required, so we'll see that. In some of the cases we'll see like less time is required. In some of the cases we'll see that more time is required. So we'll see that part. And secondly, I need you to do lots of practicals. So for that you need to be ready with, and practicals that I'll be showing you. Apart from that, I'll give you some assignments that you need to complete, and you need to come back on that. And that continues after training also. So what I do, like I keep in touch with my participants, and if suppose you are interested, you can basically work on some sort of assignments that basically I'm getting, and if you want, you can contribute there. So that will help you in doing some sort of POCs as well. So and then this way you can keep in touch, and if suppose in future uh, if you get some information, something, if you achieve something, so you inform me, and then I'm also feeling happy, like yes, my participant has done something. So so this way I shall have a long-term association with you. I'll share my email ID, and you can use the email ID, because we'll have some sort of transactions also. Sometime I'll be sending you some files and all, so that you can download and you can use it. And you can also get in touch with me. That's what we'll be doing. Okay. So
Sure, sir.
yeah. So let us have great training, and that requires interactive training, and that requires like interaction from both the sides. So I encourage that you should ask questions, and no question is a small question or a stupid question. So it is like if you get some questions, so please ask. And if suppose there is any question that I'll not be able to answer, so I'll definitely come back on that. So that's how we'll be moving ahead on this. Okay. Fine. So let us start our session, and I hope that you are able to see my screen. If suppose anytime you face any challenge, let me know. You can see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Okay, great, good. So please respond, because if suppose I ask something, so please respond on that. And so let us see like what are the things happening there. So we are going for big data and Hadoop training, and the things that we are supposed to do in this training program. So we'll be understanding what is Hadoop, how it works, what are the key components of Hadoop, like SDFS and MapReduce. Then, so we'll understand how SDFS works, and we'll understand how MapReduce works. Okay. Now we will be doing some sort of small introduction regarding Java. So it will be a small introduction regarding Java. Then, so once I say Hadoop, in this we'll have lots of things, so we'll discuss on that part, how it happens. Then we'll be understanding how Hive is working. Space is working, pig is working, scoop works. Then I'll share with you a video and a little bit introduction regarding Impala. The Impala introduction will be there. I'll also do a small introduction of Spark. And I shall assign you some assignments. So I'll assign you some POC works that you will be completing after training and you will be submitting it to me. So I encourage the participants to submit it and I'll come back on that. So that even if suppose if it is happening, and definitely it will happen post training, but then POC you need to complete. So that you need to complete, and that will help you also, and it will help me also understanding that you understood the things. So I encourage you to learn some domain, like whichever domain you are interested into, like banking domain or insurance domain or retail domain or manufacturing domain. So whichever domain you are interested into, just think of it and come back, and I'll guide you like what are the things you need to get in that domain. So that's also important that you are supposed to do. And time to time here we'll have assignments. So in between we'll have the assignments. I'll guide you and I'll let you know like which are the topics on which lots of interview questions are being asked. So I hope it is clear like what are the things we are going to do.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We can. Okay. So fine. So you should you can and I hope that you are recording the session. Or Swaroop will record.
Swaroop informed me to record the session, but yeah, Swaroop is doing that.
Okay, fine. So great. So okay, so let us go for it. Let us understand like how the things are working. Go through this the lines here, like which the line which is there, and I'll be explaining like what is happening here. So I'm just reading also and try understanding. It is saying, and this line is from Hadoop definitive guide, that is also called a Bible of Hadoop. So definitive guide I'll encourage. Once the training is over, you should go through the definitive guide. Why I'm not asking you to do this right now, because you will get confused and you will not understand the things. So you'll throw the book away after reading 5-6 lines, 5-6 pages of the book. So, but then once you go through this training program, then if you go through the book, it is very interesting and it will help you if suppose you are planning to go for certification exam also. So this is from the definitive guide only, and this is very good information that helps us in understanding like what is Hadoop and what for Hadoop is there. So what it says, just see. In pioneer days, they used oxen for heavy pulling, and when one ox could not budge a log, they did not try to grow a larger ox. Okay, so if suppose one ox was not able to do the task, so they did not try to grow a larger ox. Rather than what they have done, that they have decided to deploy more oxen. So that was the thing. So we should not be trying for bigger computers, but for more systems of computers. Are you understanding this thing?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So let us understand this. Like if suppose I have a computer which has suppose 64 GB of RAM. That is good enough. 64 GB of RAM. I say 64 GB of RAM. And it is working on a huge data. Fine. But then what happens, like after some time, the 64 GB of RAM is not useful because the data is increasing, and that if the data is increasing, then of course it is not going to help you out, because the 64 GB of RAM will be of no use if suppose the data is double. So we cannot go for like, let me go for 128 MB of RAM, sorry, 128 GB of RAM, or and so on. Because once you do that, you are increasing the cost, and the cost is too much. And there will be one time when you'll find that this 128 GB RAM is also not enough, and you cannot go and increase every time. So yes, some server can have this thing. Like I can say like, okay, I'll have one server that will have, so maybe a master which we can call. So I may have a master which will have a good RAM, and not the slaves. The slaves are those computers which will be getting instruction from master. So not the slaves. So we need to understand, like we cannot go for larger and larger systems, because what happened, like the entire system is depending on three things. Like one is volume, variety, and velocity. These three things are there: volume, variety, and velocity. Now volume is like what? The size. Like suppose I say hard disk size and all. So that is volume. Now I remember when I started my career at that time, like it was only 16 years back. But then I still remember that the size of the server was 10 GB. So it was 10 GB hard disk, and on which Unix server was working. And then we were, yes, it was a small company, but then the things were working there, and we had Unix C++ with Sybase, and we were working on that. So 10 GB was the hard disk space. Right now the situation is that in my you can say like in my mobile I have 10 GB, more than 10 GB of space. So volume is something which has definitely increased a lot. So yes, so in cities, like that's not a problem at all. So suppose I have the volume, so volume is not a problem. So for big data is basically based on the situation where volume is increasing, and lots of increment in the volume there. Then second thing is coming, like that is like variety in the sense like we are no more depending on the RDBMSs. Like if suppose I say the data will come from RDBMS, so that's not the only source now, because we are now getting data from different sources, and the sources are log files. So maybe the comma separated files, or text or tab separated files, or XML files, or JSON files. So we are having the data in different formats, and so different varieties are there. So we have basically started concentrating on different things like apart from RDBMS, we are also saying that we are getting the data from some other sources as well. So variety has come, and that's also one important aspect. And then there is something called velocity. So velocity is what, like the speed at which you are accessing the information. Now here comes the you can say the trap or check. So what happened, like volume has increased a lot, variety has increased a lot, but then velocity has not increased in that proportion, and that is the challenge. So velocity has not increased. Now yes, we can have lots of computers which are having very good speed, but then it is like there's you can say that limitation on that. So we'll understand this part, and that's the so here we are understanding only one thing right now, and the thing is like data. What we are talking about right now is basically becoming use and use. So data is becoming use and use, and it has different varieties also. So variety is also coming, but then the problem is like in that proportion we are not able to speed up. So that's the problem. So speed is a challenge in this industry. Speed is a challenge. So we have to find out a solution for this. So what we understood from this, like big data is a problem, and we are searching for some solution. So let us understand in this aspect. Let us understand like how the things are there. So yes, so it is like we have to find out the solution, and we'll come back on this. We'll understand this thing, and that's how the things will go ahead. So what is big data? So it's a data with scale, diversity, and complexity require new architecture. I already told you that the variety has come. Like it's no longer RDBMS. It is like you have the structured data, of course, but then unstructured data is also there. So understand here, like if suppose I say structured data. So structured data will come. Structured data comes from RDBMS. Structured data comes from RDBMS, that you understand. Let me increase the size. So it is coming from RDBMS. So structured means RDBMS, RDBMS.
Hello.
Yeah.
So here the structure means similar kind of data, right?
No. Understand. The data when it is coming in a particular format and which has some sort of, you can say like some sort of relations also, and when we are talking about some sort of you can say system also, then we are saying it is one structured data. For example, if suppose we talk about RDBMS, any RDBMS like Oracle, SQL, or MySQL, or any RDBMS you talk. So we are talking about something which is having some sort of schema. Okay, so there is some schema there, and it has some sort. It may have some sort of relation also, and it is based on some sort of functions, like you can say like normalization, or normalization, like you must have heard about first, second, third, and voice code normalization also. So it's like it is coming from some structured way. So that is coming from RDBMS. Now we are having the another type of data that is semi-structured. Let me complete this, then we'll take this question again. So another type of data is semi-structured. Semi-structured, when we are talking about, so it is something like XML. And the third is unstructured. Unstructured is what text files, so that may be comma separated. So maybe comma separated files, or tab separated files, or you can say like we can have a JSON type of file. So what happens, like in XML also, we are having some sort of schema. Like if you are aware of XML, so what happens there? Like you can have some data types which can be defined using XSD or XSLT type of thing. So in XML also we can have some sort of schema. But then it is not completely structured. It is not completely as RDBMS is there. In RDBMS we have a proper structure where we can have some schema, and then we can put the information accordingly, and there are some systematic way to do the task and all. So that is what structured is, and then semi-structured I told you, and unstructured I told you. Now let me know what is your query. Are you clear now, or you have some more doubts?
Yeah, I'm clear, sir.
Okay. So always
Yes, sir,
remember
you
when we
are
are
clear.
Okay. So always remember when we say structured data, no, it will always come from RDBMS because it has a systematic way of arranging the things and putting the things there. We can have some join also in between the tables, and then we can have something like you can say like primary key, foreign key type of arrangements there. Then we can have relationships like many to many, many to one, one to many, and sort of relationships there. So yes, join is possible in Hive also, but then not in that way. We cannot have something called transactions in Hive. We cannot have triggers in Hive. So there are so many things which we cannot have. But then we'll understand these are the limitations. But then we'll understand like what are the things we can have which is not available in RDBMS. So RDBMS, that is Relational Database Management System, and so that always based on some structured way to implement the things. But then if suppose we are talking about semi-structured, so it has some structure. We can say like we can have some sort of table type of structure there. Like if suppose I say in XML I declare one tag, which suppose I say books, then I inside that tag I say book ID, book name, then cost of the book and all. So those look like that we have a table, and then those are the columns, and we can put the value also that you know if suppose you know a little bit of XML. So that's how it is. So that's what the thing is like there. So we need to understand like yes, these are three different types of you can say data. So you can understand here like we have the data which has different scale, different diversity and complexity. So yes, if suppose I start putting the comma separated value and text separated value directly in my RDBMS, it will not accept. Or suppose I start putting XML file in RDBMS, it will not accept. JSON directly, it will not accept. We'll have to make certain changes, and then only we have to write some programs, then only we can somehow we can make it possible that we can enter the data. But then RDBMS is not meant for that. So, and secondly, RDBMS is not meant for some huge data sets like if suppose I say I have petabytes of data, terabytes of data, then RDBMS is not for that purpose. And it's not like that. One thing that comes into mind and people are asking this question like whether Hadoop is going to replace RDBMS. So the answer is no, no way. It is not going to replace anyway anything. So it is a new technique. It has its own algorithm, and it can also do analytics like the RDBMS systems can have some sort of analytics. But then the point is like when the data becomes very huge, Hadoop should be used only at that time. So one example here I always cite, like if suppose I need to go to a place like, for example, see, I'm just giving you an example here. So suppose I'm to reach this place. This is airport, and I'm living, suppose, only 2 kilometers away from the airport. So I need to reach here. I have two options that I can use. One option is I should go by my bicycle. So going by cycling, and second is like I should use uh, aeroplane for that purpose. So what do you think? Which one will be the faster one? Whether it's aeroplane or bicycle, which one will be the faster one? Can you tell me? If suppose it's only 2 kilometers, I need to reach to this location. So which one will be the faster one? Which one I should select to reach this destination? Any idea? Whether one or two?
It's smaller distance, right? So I can prefer one.
Okay. Okay. Both of you should say something. Why one? It's smaller, but then aeroplane will reach in 10 minutes, and cycle may reach in 15-20 minutes. So then why?
So I no need to go for aeroplane. I have bicycle, right? I can take it and I can go. While the time of
No,
I
if
reach
suppose
aeroplane.
both the things are available. I have a bicycle also and I have a aeroplane also. Both the things are available. What I need to do? Both the things are free for me. What I need to
Okay,
do?
then I go for aeroplane, the free.
Okay. Okay. If it is free, then you will be going for aeroplane.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. What about you? It was Sudhakar, no?
Yes, I'm Sudhakar, sir.
Okay. So what about Abhijit, no? What about Abhijit?
Yes, sir. I feel the same, sir. Aeroplane would be a better option.
Okay. Fine. Now see, though aeroplane seems better option, but then I'm giving you some more information on this. The information is that once you are going by aeroplane, you will have to follow some rules and regulations. Okay? Follow rules. Fine. So if suppose I need to follow the rules, like there will be security check, and then you'll have to wait there, and then you will have boarding, and then once the boarding is over, then only the takeoff will happen. Fine. Now tell me which one you prefer.
I prefer cycle.
Okay. Now see, so this is what RDBMS and Hadoop is there. So if suppose I say RDBMS no, so we'll have to follow lots of rules there, and we'll have to stick to the rules. So yes, of course, in Hadoop, if suppose I do the thing, I'll have to follow some steps and all. But then what happens? Like if it is a small data, fine. If it is a small data, then what happens? Like Hadoop is not meant for that. So if suppose I say that going by aeroplane is going by Hadoop, then what happens here? Like the distance is very less. So then you'll not be getting the benefit, because it will be taking lots of other things, like you'll have to follow certain rules there, and it will be slow. So slow in the sense, like by cycle you may reach by in 15-20 minutes, but then by aeroplane plane you may reach there by in 2 hours or 3 hours, because you have to follow certain rules there. So remember one thing, like once the data is very huge, then only you should go for Hadoop. If the data is not that huge, then you should never go for Hadoop, because Hadoop will give you pathetic pathetic result, pathetic output. It will not be good for you. So always remember this thing, and whenever you are, anyone asks you this question, like how you will decide that this is a good case for Hadoop implementation. So always understand first thing, like what is the data size, how much data is there. If you think that the data is less, now how much data is less, that is also important. So even if suppose I say that the data is for 1 lakh, suppose 1 lakh people are there, or 1 lakh employees are there, and their data management system is having the data. So that is also very less, if suppose you see, because it will not be more than some GB of the data. And even if it is suppose if it is 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes of data, that is also not sufficient. So if suppose we say that the data is in petabytes type of, then you should say yes. We say that millions of files will be there, millions of records will be there, so multi-million records will be there. So in that case you should say yes, and the transaction is very high, and every day we may get some sort of millions of records type of. So when we are saying that the data is very huge, and and the future the data will keep increasing also. For example, suppose we are talking about 1 lakh people, or 1 lakh staff for one particular company. So how much data will increase there? Because if suppose people are leaving, so that data is of no use now. So you'll not have maximum, even if it is a growth. So what will be the growth? Not more than 5% to 10% and 15%. But then if suppose I say that I'm working working for suppose eBay, I'm working for Flipkart, I'm working for Snapdeal. So the data is very huge. I see like every day the data is increasing. I'm working for Amazon, so it is the data is increasing. So if the data volume is increasing, then we should think of like, yes, the data is increasing, data is the variety is increasing, the things are coming from different things. So then we should think that yes, this is the time when we should go for, or this is the correct case, or you can say like this is what we should go for it. So always remember, like when we are talking about the huge volume, and apart from the huge volume, when we are talking about the varieties also. For example, suppose I am using sensors. I completed one project around 4 or 5 months back where it was for one construction company. So the data was coming from sensors. Now the data was definitely very huge, but then it was coming as log files, and it was a continuous thing that was coming. So that way it is, like if the data is coming and we know that in 5 years down the line it will be very huge and it will continue to be huge, then in that case you need to have a Hadoop system available. So data that is not only coming from RDBMS, it may come from RDBMS, it may not come from RDBMS, data that is coming from different sources, and data which is basically helping in creating some sort of data lake where the data is coming from different varieties, different sources, and then we are making some sort of mixing, and then we are getting some mixed information, and then we are doing some sort of analytics on that. So that is what we need to think, and that's how we need to think on. So always remember this thing, like once we are talking about big data, so we are talking about something which is different, whose scale, diversity, and complexity require new architecture, because RDBMS will not be able to support your petabytes of information. Never think of that. But yet then yes, what I told you, like if suppose the data is less, then we should go for RDBMS. If suppose we see that the data will not increase in that way, then we should go for RDBMS. So we are not going to replace anything. Hadoop is not going to replace anything. Whenever we are talking about Hadoop, we are talking about some huge data. We are talking about the data volume that is to increase day by day, and that's how we are talking. So we are talking about something where the data is coming from diverse sources, and it's not simple you can say like some RDBMS table which will have the data and you can present it anytime. There may be data which we suppose we are getting, and we are finding out some hidden knowledge from that. So hidden knowledge in the sense like if sensor is giving you some data. Now sensor data can be used for example like we wanted to know like what was the fume consumption and why the fume was consumed very high. So there are certain other regions, like if suppose some delay is happening, and that's how the fume is being consumed more. So can we find out this type of solutions, this type of hidden knowledge from sensors? Now these informations cannot be used in RDBMS. So that's what big data is there, and that's why big data is there. Okay, any question on this?
So, sir, I have one question. Right now, like you were saying, Hadoop for huge data, and day by day in future also it's going to increase. They are moving for Hadoop. So, in industry, if company they want to move to Hadoop, so which point they are thinking about this? Like at what amount, or is there any ideal amount of data they are looking, like we are getting sufficient data so we can move to the Hadoop?
Now see, one thing you need to understand, like industry, which type of industry? We should not say that software industry should move to
No,
Hadoop.
let's
Software
consider
industry.
banking industry or.
Yes. So that is the correct one. So what happens if suppose, or I'm citing one very interesting example. One of my friends is working in pharma sector, and what he said that he's working on UK medical system. So that's the project he is having, and what he's doing there, like he was saying that that in UK what is happening, like whatever if suppose one person is there, so from since childhood whatever test, some test or some medical advice and everything has been given to the person, all the records should be there with the person so that he can claim the insurance that is free. Now, since childhood, he has to keep all those records. He was telling me, like, there are some people who are more than, you can say, like 40,000 or 50,000 people are there in UK who are basically more than 100 years of age. And you can understand, means like since childhood, whatever doctor has seen, whatever medical advice was there, and whatever medicine was advised, all the data is required to be there, and that is what, like, those are in the scanned data, those are in PDFs and all, and that is creating lots of, like, that is basically creating lots of space related things. And he has a solution in .NET, and I suggested, if suppose you put it in SDFS, so it will be faster, because he thinks like in coming years the data will definitely be growing, and of course, because now more and more computerizations and more awareness type of things are there, and now it is mandatory also. So data is definitely going to be more and more. So this may be one example. In banking industry, again, like if suppose my grandfather had one bank account, and that bank account, later on he included me, and then the same bank account, like so same bank account is being continued, and bank is a sector where the data is like, data is very important, what transaction happened and how the transaction happened. And if suppose I want to understand, or I want to know like which branch is doing better, and I want to know like where I need to shift my branch, or I want to know like the online transactions are happening. So whether someone is trying to hack my website, so many other aspects are there. So in which once we are thinking of, so can we move some data from the active to the passive one? Like if suppose I make some data, historical data, because I don't want to waste the data, and that is not allowed in banking sector. So what is happening in banking sector, like till that this time, like they were storing the data in some hard disk, and in the storage disk and all. So that's again one security threat is there, and it can damage also, and it may create some problems also. So so that's why banking industry is basically moving very fast towards Hadoop. And yes, there are so many banks, like you can say Barclays is there, Citibank there. So many banks already they have started doing these things, and so many other banks are there which are planning to go for, like in India, State Bank of India is going in a big way. So they are to basically, and that will be the biggest Hadoop project in the entire world, because this is one of the largest banking sector. You must be knowing that recently they have announced the merger of all the
Yes.
subordinate banks.
Yeah,
So
all the branches.
yes. So it's like a huge data is going to move from that. So that will be the world's largest banking sector. So that's what it is like. If you understand this part, so you can understand that that way. Another aspect is where bank is using this technique is like understanding the rating of a person to get the loan. So that is again that is happening, and in fact I worked on one of that projects. So so understanding like uh, who is eligible for a loan, or and what is the risk, whether the person will be returning the loan or not. So that is the credit risk that is also being examined these days, because banks are paying amount, and then sometime it is not getting recovered. So so bad loan and all those things happens, and then that's how banks are in sometime in loss also. So so to analyze, and you must be knowing, like in US many banks have that's the reason, because of the bad debt they collapsed also, and it affected US economy like anything. So that's the reason it is like banking is also looking towards Hadoop, so that the data can be examined and understood, like what's the regarding the person. And what happens here, like let me tell you one thing, it is not only the data that they are relying on, what there in their database and all. The data is also coming from different sources now, like the social data is also coming, and they are also purchasing the data from different social sites like Twitter, Facebook, and then
Yes.
money control and all. So there are so many social sites from there the data is being purchased, and the companies are, or banking industry basically is trying to implement this thing. So lots of banks have already started doing these things, and those are happening on the basis of some historical data. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So always remember, like why? Because this will definitely be a question once you are suggesting someone, like you should go for RDBMS, you should or you should go for Hadoop. So first of all, you need to know like whether I should go for Hadoop or not. First of all, you need to know like whether it is suggested, because it is not like that today I learned Hadoop and tomorrow I'll ask my company like why don't we go for Hadoop instead of Oracle or any other RDBMS. So it's not a fact. We need to understand like where the data is very huge, where the data is coming from different sources and all. So that's what we are supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what happens. Any question on that, or we should go for this slide?
So one more question, just one small doubt. So if I have to, just a minute, sir, please hold on.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, sir. Suppose I have to, the company decides to move to Hadoop, migrate to Hadoop. So what are the steps required in migration? Like, I mean, what kind of hardware structure they have to upgrade and software, and what is the approximate cost of migration?
See, first thing you need to understand what is the size of the data, and accordingly you take decision. So if suppose I say that the data is in 100 terabytes or 200 terabytes or 300 terabytes type of data is available. So there are some factors like replication factors and all, and we'll understand those things. We are yet to learn because we have not started yet. Like what is Hadoop? We are just understanding what is the big data and what are the challenges. But then it is like on that basis we can decide like what is the data and how much replication factor will be there, and what is the transaction, whether it is such a transaction where once the data is kept there, so whether it is only a dump type of data, or there will be some interaction also, some people will be working on the data. So accordingly RAM will be decided, because RAM also plays a major role here. So we'll understand where RAM is playing the role, and hard disk is playing a role. So based on what is the size of the data and other aspects, we can decide. And as far as tools are concerned, no, so mostly it is like there are many you can say other tools also available, but in Hadoop the tool is called Scoop, which is helping in getting the data from RDBMS to SDFS, or from SDFS to RDBMS that way. So we learned that also, like how it is happening, and so on. So this is what is there.
Yes, sir.
Also, most of the Hadoop tools are open source, like free right in market.
So see what happens, like free is also available and paid also available. So for example, if suppose I say Cloudera or Hortonworks, so yes, images you can download and you can use those images. But then once you are interested in doing the production, no, you have to pay for it. And for production you have to purchase the product. Okay, so you have to purchase the service, you have to purchase the product. So enterprise versions are never free, but then otherwise yes, for learning purposes and small works it is free. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, so see, like as I told you, like what is happening right now, and the data is coming from different sources. You can see like sensor data, mobile data, user click data, web logs, then other historical data, testing data, then dynamic pricing data. Like dynamic pricing is like some bidding, so that happens online. So many other things are there. So data is definitely increasing. So if suppose we see like big data equals transactions plus interactions plus observation. So that is like the data is coming from different sources. So here two things we need to understand. One is like you can see like megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, and it is increasing. So if suppose we say that increasing data variety and complexity. So if the data variety and complexity is increasing, so then what happens? Like the size of data storage will also increase. So of course it is increasing, but then if the size of the data is increasing, then analyzing the data with the existing system is not possible. And as the data variety is also there, then it is not possible. So these are the challenges. We're generating big data, so it's not only social websites. Like generally what happens, like if suppose we think of Hadoop, so generally people understand like this is for Facebook, Twitter type of things. And then that is not a fact. Even a plane which is moving from one location to another generates
Black
lots of
box, right?
data. Yes, so black box, correct.
Yes.
So that generates lots of data, and on that basis the analysis happens. Now what is happening, like telecom industry or you can say electricity industry, all are thinking of providing what better and better services. Because see, gone are the days when it was like there was like only one product was there in the market, so you have to purchase that product only. There was no competition and all. Now that's not the fact. Initially, like in telecom industry, only BSNL was there. BSNL also named later on. But then it was like only telephone, that fixed telephone was there at home, and that's the only thing. Now it is like so many companies are there and so many offerings are there. So people are thinking, yes, I can pay more, but then I need some sort of solution which is never failing. Means services become very interesting. So if suppose I say electricity never fails, my telecommunication never fails. So they have to ensure that how it will not fail. So for that they have to define some mechanism which will basically help in identifying some problem which may occur after some time. There is one BBC documentary, if you want, you can see it on internet. This documentary is talking about how in New York the crime is being avoided, or the crime is being not to happen, so that they are taking some sort of measure 24 hours before the crime can actually take place, and that's a BBC documentary. So they are having some algorithm. The data is very huge, and they are tracking the information from different sources. And on that basis, they have defined some algorithm which is based on Hadoop, and they can predict like where the crime can happen. And on that basis, the police is alert, and the police is just trying to avoid the crime before it even takes place. So the data is being generated by different things, like you can see sensor technology, networks, mobile devices, scientific instrument, and so on. So yes, some social media, social you can say websites are there which are generating lots of data, but then those are not the only sources. So we have lots of different sources, and that's why the scope is also increasing. Like it is not only that we have to, once we complete Hadoop, so we must have to work in only some social websites environment, and we have to wait for some vacancies there. So it's like the things are working in different industry, even for manufacturing industry. Like why the delay is there, the data center should not fail, and then like if suppose the car is being manufactured, so where is the delay in the manufacturing, or what is the time it has taken, and how much fuel it is consuming, and how it can be increased. So many things are there, so many platforms are there, so many other aspects are there. On the basis of that, it is being taken the decision, like where we can have the data. Now, still we are talking about only what is big data and all. We are yet to understand what is Hadoop. Then that will be coming next. So you understand here, like if the complexity of the data is very high, like you can see here, that if it is very high, you will see the business value is also growing. So as high is complexity, as high means as the data is coming from different sources. So if suppose the data is coming from more and more sources, so your business value will be more and more. So you cannot depend only on RDBMS nowadays, because if suppose you are depending only on RDBMS, then in that case what happens, like your data source is not that strong. You are not getting the data from different sources, and then you cannot predict the right thing. What happens in the channels are predicting who will win the election. So if suppose they are only depending on asking some questions, direct questions to the participants, they will never come to a correct conclusion. So they have to go for diverse information, getting the feedback, and putting the information. So similar thing is there if suppose you go for some psychometric test. So what happens there, that they are asking different questions, and then they come to some conclusion. So as the data will be complex, so the business value will also be increasing, that we need to understand. So just see here, like if suppose the data is becoming very huge, so one computer is not able to support the thing, because the data is becoming huge, and I don't need to go for the bigger systems and all that we have already discussed. So if suppose one system can do a task in some suppose for 45 minutes, so of course with the same configuration, if we have more systems, so those will be taking only that much time. That we need to understand, like suppose we are having a system, we are having a format, we are having a framework that supports this type of distributed file system, that supports where the data can be spread across. Data is not in one system, data is scattered. So that is the requirement, and we'll understand how Hadoop is helping in this. But then still we are understanding only like how the data is there, and how the data can be stored in different locations, and how multi systems can help in doing that task. So we'll go for Hadoop next day, not today, and we'll be. I'm just putting you there to think of on all these informations, like what is big data, and the data is coming from different sources. And I suggest, like today, you should think of at least two different cases, and let me know tomorrow, like which two cases you think. Now that those should be different cases, not what I discussed. So think of two different cases, each of you, and let me know tomorrow, like these are the different cases I thought like that should be ideal as big data, and then we'll think of what should be the solution as Hadoop there. Okay.
Okay.
Now this is the time for questions, so let me know if suppose you have any question, further question.
So you mean two different cases means the two scenario where we need
Two
to,
scenarios, correct,
yes,
yes.
yes, where we need to implement this big data and why.
Where you think that it should be implemented. And
Okay.
so you should have like, this is a scenario, and why do you think that it should be implemented? Okay.
Okay.
So this is the task for today, and we'll have further this.
Sir, so two scenarios in the sense we already know so many scenarios where it is already being implemented,
Hmm.
right?
I
So,
know. Yes.
so you mean like
Of course, you should think
no?
some innovative way. Just think in some innovative ways. I know so many scenarios, but then I need you also think in some other way. It's not like you are a school going kid, so I am going to do some punishment for that. It is like I need to understand like how the things are. going ahead, and whether you are trying to understand it or not. Okay?
Right. Right.
Yeah. So please try it.
Okay. So
Fine.
what are the parameters you want us to find out? Just like two industries enough, or you want to me?
Parameters are like if, whatever we have discussed, like why it is the case, whether it is the data will only come from structured source, or it can also come from unstructured source. That's the one thing. Then you need to say like what may be the volume growth. So whether you think that there will be a voluminous growth there in coming years, like in 4 or 5 years, so it will be increasing the data, whichever is the size right now, so it will increase. So think over it, and of course you can cite if even suppose if you are not able to get some information, so whatever we have discussed on that also you can choose to, and then let me know why you think that this is required as Hadoop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So fine then. Let me stop here. So every day we'll have around 1.5 hour type of training program, and that way we'll be going ahead. And whatever is required, so we'll do, and we'll have some end assignments also. So initially some theoretical assignments, and then later on we'll have practical assignments. Okay. And
Yes, sir.
you can note down my email ID. So it is thisismukund@gmail.com. I am just typing also there. So just a moment. I'm typing here.
Mukund Kumar Mishra. Your complete name Mukund Kumar Mishra?
Yes.
I saw your video, Impala video in YouTube. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That is my video only.
Okay.
So yes. So you can see this one. This is mukund@gmail.com. So you keep this one, and you should start interacting with me on this, and we'll keep interacting. Fine.
Sir, can you like 5 minutes, please? Can you give
Yeah.
me
Sure.
brief
Please.
explanation, like if as a Hadoop developer, if the person is entering into the industry, what is his role? What he will do exactly the things? Like,
Okay. How many years of experience you have, or you are a fresher?
yeah, consider like fresher. I am fresher.
Okay, you are a fresher. So you will be starting as a developer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So see what happens. Like in this industry, uh, this is basically same as what is happening in IT industry. It's not different from IT industry. So you'll have role like Hadoop developer, or Hadoop team lead, or Hadoop tech lead, or project manager for BIDW, or project manager for Hadoop. Like for example, I am a technical architect in Hadoop stream. So technical architect, solution architect, senior architect in Hadoop. So these are the things which you will be doing. Initially, you will be starting as Hadoop developer.
Okay. Like I mean, like I know, like I hear from one of my friend, like whenever we join in a company, they will provide like instance. We go there. What we need to do, like either we fetch data from RDBMS and we need to do some operations over there, or how
Yes,
we are working there.
that also happens. Like you may have to fetch the data from RDBMS. You have to write some Hive code on that, or pip code on that, or HBase code on that. You have to get it ready for next person who is doing some reporting on that. So maybe someone who is working in W, so he will connect with your data and he will present it on the environment, on some website or anywhere. So there are certain tools those can be used for this purpose. So many things are there. Will as soon as means the time when you are entering, understanding the things, then all those things will become clearer and clearer. So as of now, we are just starting. So
Oh,
things will definitely you'll understand, and I'll let you know like in which scenario what is the work happening.
okay.
Yeah. So just concentrate on what I do and what are the assignments I want you to complete, and complete all those things, and then get yourself ready, and then I'll guide you if you'll have some resume and all. So I'll guide you once we are putting some information there, then how you can use it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine then. So I'm now closing this session today, and tomorrow again we'll be meeting sharp at 7:30. So please be there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.